Hey YouTube, Kiritwig here, bringing you all an update to my Flame Swordsman Yugioh deck profile for post-Duelist Advance. We got a brand new main deck monster in the latest Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set. For the Flame Swordsman deck, a main deck variant of Dark Flare Dragon. Very cool how we got rehashes for all the different Flame Swordsman cards. So with it, I wanted to update the deck that focuses on just being able to use the different equip spells we run to get out our bigger Flame Swordsman monsters, while also utilizing the original Flame Swordsman as well, and then also incorporating some of the Infernal Knight engine to help with our Fire Warrior lineup. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. For the Flame Swordsman lineup, we're running 3 copies of Fighting Flame Swordsman. If this card's normal or special summon, you can add 1 spell or trap that mentions Flame Swordsman from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send 1 Flame Swordsman or 1 monster that mentions it from your deck or extract to the graveyard, except for Fighting Flame Swordsman. You can only use each effect of Fighting Flame Swordsman once per turn. So this card can help to initiate our search for our spell needed for our fusion setup in the deck, being Flame Swords Realm, but also being able to send off a Flame Swordsman or a monster that mentions it from our extra deck to the graveyard can then give us more of our equip options for our fusion cards like Fighting Flame Dragon to use with this card as well. Our new monster that we run is Dark Flare Swordsman, which we also run 3 copies of. You take no damage from battles involving this card, so very similar to Dark Flare Swordsman as well with this card. And when it involves this card for the attack, you can only use each of the following effects of Dark Flare Swordsman once per turn. You can send 1 Flame Swordsman or 1 monster that mentions it from your extract to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot declare attacks for the rest of this turn, except with warrior monsters. Quick effect, you contribute this card to special summon 1 monster that mentions Flame Swordsman from your deck, except a level 6 monster. So this is to get around summoning itself, obviously, but then you can use this card to grab cards like Fighting Flame Swordsman, and then with that, you already have 1 additional monster sent, thanks to Dark Flare Swordsman as well. You'll still get the special summon play, thanks to Fighting Flame Swordsman being special summoned off of this card effect. It's just a better extender and 1 more additional resource to set up cards in your graveyard for you. We're also running 2 copies of Salamander, the Flying Flame Dragon. While this card is equipped to a Flame Swordsman or a monster that mentions it, the equipped monster gains 700 attack. You can only use each of the following effects of Salamander, the Flying Flame Dragon, once per turn. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target 1 warrior monster you control. Equip this card to that monster you control as an equipped spell. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Salamander spell trap from your deck to your hand. Having more search for our cards like our equipped fusion spell, Salamander Fusion, and then just the additional attack boost for this monster as well. And 2 copies of Mirage Swordsman to finish off the lineup of Flame Swordsman monsters that we run in the deck. If a face-up fire fusion monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there when the monster was destroyed, or hand, even if not. At the start of damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy both the battling monster, and if this card is destroyed by battle or another card effect, you can special summon 1 level 7 or lower monster that is Flame Swordsman or mentions it from your deck or extract. You can only use each effect of Mirage Swordsman once per turn, but the level 7 option or lower for those monsters just gives you more and more resources to go into, just like you can go into Mirage Swordsman thanks to your own warrior monsters as well by using those fire fusion monsters to do so. And then for the Infernal Knight engine, we run 1 copy of Immortal Phoenix Gearfried, the 1 Renaud, the 1 Ricciardetto, the 1 Turpin, and the 1 Roland. As I said, these are all just engine pieces that we use, having the different equip options for special summoning and giving us warrior resources on the field, with the majority of those cards needed for some of our added options in the deck to be able to go into, whether we go into some of our link options like Ferocious Flame Swordsman, stick to the synchro plays that these monsters can provide. They all help, along with the additional equip options that we run in the deck as well, having the Fire Warrior monsters be suitable to also work with our Infernal Arms Durandal that we run in the spell lineup also. And then for the rest of the main deck monsters, I run 1 copy of Adrolan Lockbird, 1 Nibiru, and 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. The Ash Blossom, just for some of the recycle power we can do with some of our fire monsters in the extra deck, on top of the 1-ofs for Nibiru and Adrolan Lockbird, so we have cards to banish if our opponent tries to break our combos in the deck, with cards like Crossout Designator being able to banish these cards and then stop our opponent's cards from stopping us. For the spells, 2 copies of Flame Swords Realm. Your opponent cannot activate card or effects when you normal summon a Fire Warrior monster. Once per turn, you can send 1 monster from your hand or face on the field of the graveyard. Special summon 1 Flame Swordsman from your extra deck. This is treated as a fusion summon. Once per turn, when a monster declares an attack, you can target 1 warrior monster you control. Until the end of this turn, it loses 1,000 attack, but all monsters you currently control gain 1,000 attack. So this is just more or less the added option, so your opponent cannot respond to your cards, and then being able to send a monster from your hand or face on the field of the graveyard to special summon Flame Swordsman from your extra deck as that added play for your different monsters, and then grabbing that resource that we mentioned before as one of our main go-to cards in the deck to use also. 2 copies of Salamandra Fusion. With this card equipped only to a Fire Warrior monster, it gains 700 attack. If the equipped monster be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy this card instead. While this card is equipped to a fusion monster you control, you can send this card and the equipped monster to the graveyard, and if you do special summon 1 Flame Swordsman or 1 fusion monster that mentions it from your extra deck, this is treated as a fusion summon. You can only use this effect of Salamandra Fusion once per turn, but the main way to get out our bigger boss monster, Ultimate Flame Swordsman, by having this card be equipped to our Flame Swordsman for the added play as well, to then use the setup for our monsters, including our Salamandra, the Flying Flame Dragon, for that activated set, to then be able to use with the card as well, and equip this card to that monster as an equip spell, and then being able to add the Salamander spell trap as well, thanks to this card also. More of the generic spell lineup that we run as well includes the Infernal Arms engine. So with that, the 2 copies of Noble Arms Museum and the 2 copies of Durandal for the added special summon of a level 5 or lower warrior monster from your deck to your hand when it's equipped to a monster, and then destroy this card as well. In Noble Arms Museum, all Fire Warrior monsters you control gain 500 attack, including our Flame Swordsman monsters, and once per turn you can pay 1,200 to add 1 Noble Arms card from your deck to your hand, and then being able to have that special summon as well once per turn. If the previous effect was applied this turn, you can target a Noble Knight monster in your spell and trap card zone and special summon it, which works with the Gearfried special summon setup also. The 2 options for our other spells include the next lineup, which is Heritage of the Chalice. You add 1 Noble Knight monster or Noble Arms card from your deck to or graveyard to your hand, and if your Noble Knight monster equipped with a Noble Arms card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard while this card's in the graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. It's search power for Durandal and the other one-ofs as mentioned before, since they do have Noble Knight in the name also. The 1 copy of Fusion Armament as an additional search for our fusion resources, reinforcements of the army to also search for a good majority of the main deck monsters we run. 1 Triple Tactics Talent, the 1 Call by the Grave, and the 1 Crossout Designator to finish off the spells as well, with our traps being the 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence and the 1 Goes in Match, since the majority of the monsters we run in the main deck and extra deck are all fire monsters, while being able to limit plays our opponent may be able to potentially do as well. And then for the extra deck, let's start off with our main go-to monster, which is Flame Swordsman. I do want to run 2. Sadly, I can only find 1 copy of my Flame Swordsman, so I have 1 Darkfire Dragon as just a placeholder for the 2nd copy of Flame Swordsman, but it's just your go-to monster for a lot of the special summons and a lot of the setups that cards like Dark Flare Swordsman can do in the deck. The 2 copies of our Ultimate Flame Swordsman. You can target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. This is a quick effect if this card's equipped with an equipped card. At the start of damage step, if it battles, you can double this card's attack to the end of this turn, but if you do, destroy it during the end phase in this turn, and you can only use each of the following effects of Ultimate Flame Swordsman once per turn, but being able to have this card be one of your finishers with the added option to just boost its attack with plenty of the other cards we run, and then go for the double attack means that the Flame Swordsman can hit for some pretty heavy damage all together on its own, and then have the destruction of this card be able to then have you float into some of the other cards we run in the deck. Also, the 2 copies of Fighting Flame Dragon, one of the other send cards as well, since this will be, except during the damage step, you can target a warrior fusion monster you control, equip this card from your field or graveyard to that monster you control as an equip spell. You can use this effect of Fighting Flame Dragon once per turn, and while this card is equipped to Flame Swordsman or a monster that mentions it, it gains 700 attack, and it can make a 2nd attack during each battle phase. So this is basically the send of the monster you want to make use of for Dark Flare Swordsman to give you 1 additional monster in the graveyard to then just be able to equip onto your properly fusion summoned monsters on the field. The 1 Ferocious Flame Swordsman, along with the 1 Heat of the Fire Charmer, the 1 Sunlight Wolf, the 1 Emperor Charles the Great, which can be summoned off of our Infernal Knight Emperor Charles for the Link summon, the 1 Promethean Princess, along with the 1 Raging Phoenix and the 1 1 Ambler Whale for the rest of the Link monsters, with our synchro options being the Captain Oliver and the Emperor Charles, as mentioned before, with the Infernal Knight engine that we're running also. And then as for some of the Goto plays in the deck, as I mentioned, Dark Flare Swordsman just helps to extend more of our plays in the deck. So being able to, with this card, send 1 Flame Swordsman or 1 monster that mentions it from our extract to the graveyard to special summon this card. So then we can send our Fighting Flame Dragon to the graveyard with this card, being able to then special summon it out onto the field. And then also with this card, being able to tribute it to special summon 1 monster that mentions Flame Swordsman from your deck, except for a level 6 monsters. Then we can use this card to grab our Fighting Flame Swordsman. When this card is then summoned, you activate the effect to search for your Flame Swords Realm, and then activate Swords Realm to send Fighting Flame Swordsman, or the one on the field, to the graveyard to special summon Flame Swordsman from the extra deck. This will give you your first additional resource on the field to use as well, being able to then have the summon of this card as well with the send to this card. So you use the effect of Fighting Flame Swordsman next. When this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send 1 Flame Swordsman or 1 monster that mentions it from your deck or extra to the graveyard. So then you'll use this card to send your Salamandra, the Flying Flame Dragon, since it has Flame Swordsman in the name, to the graveyard as well. Activate the effect to then search out Salamandra Fusion, since you sent Flying Flame Dragon to the graveyard. So then you'll search out this next spell, activate it by equipping it to the Flame Swordsman that you have on the field as well, and then activate Salamander Fusion by sending itself and the equipped monster to special summon your main go-to boss monster, being the Ultimate Flame Swordsman from your deck to the field. And then you have the added option to equip the Fighting Flame Dragon to the monster you have on the field, thanks to being able to have set it up with your Dark Flare Swordsman. A very fun play that gets you to your main play you want to go for with the Flame Swordsman deck. But as always, that is it for the deck profile, and until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.